Right, Ken, when Muhammad Ali won his Olympic gold medal and he came back to his hometown and he was still a nigger, right? That's how I felt after some of my achievements, right? The theme of this is personal development because, duh, that's what the fuck I've been doing, innit? Trying to get better at what I'm doing, Ken. I just had a wee realise. It wasn't even. I've already had this realization, but I was having the realization about if I could just relate it to what someone said the other day to me. They were saying, "Well, it's really changed your reaction to the way someone behaves against you," and that's all very well. Yeah, two-pronged attack on that. That's all very well. The CBT, cognitive behavioural therapy, where you change your perception, don't let things affect you, rise above it all, and you go and know who you are, know your worth, and someone else's, shite opinion of you shouldn't change your own knowledge, your own opinion of your own worth, that kind of thing. That's all very well, but let's just tackle that and I'll come on to the next bit, right? That's all very well, but we are social beings, and you can't help but reflect on the way that certain people in your life have actually made you feel like shit, and it made you feel like a pile of dog shit, and that's where the genesis, not the genesis, that's the wrong word, that's where the whole self-development thing came in, innit? Because I'm not getting any fucking upliftment from people, so I'll do it myself. Me, myself, and I, the trying, so... Aye, so if we just take that further, I had not a realisation, I'd already had the realisation, but the realisation that, if you achieve things and you do things and you go, right, I've got these stories, right, I could tell, I can't wait to tell them about this, they'll be really excited about it, and you get like the complete opposite. You get people gaslighting you, downgrading your achievements, minimising your achievements, not listening to you, interrupting you, making you feel small. Not making you feel small, making you feel small, but making you feel small. You see them the way they are. They don't see you the way you are, the way you actually are. They see you as a piece of shit, and you see the joke's on them because you see right through them. You see, you're going, this person's is a fucking idiot. So if this person doesn't see my worth, well, I'll just stay away from them. That kind of. But as I say, you take that further and you go, oh, maybe it's a blessing. This is where the gratitude comes in, isn't it? Maybe it's a blessing if people don't give a fuck about seeing you for the quality of person that you are, right? If they don't see that, that's their problem. And you go, maybe that's good. Maybe that's good. Maybe I've sort of, maybe I've been a bit premature with, but I just wanted people to be on the journey with me. I was like, interesting. There's no topic of conversation. No, even after a couple of drinks. No. Why the fuck do you think I've done it in my videos? Because at least I get sanity by talking to a fucking screen, and then maybe someone out there will get it, Not in a sense. This is, again, you rise past certain mentalities. You go, I'm not looking for fucking validation. I'm just looking for somebody to vibe with the shit I'm on, that kind of thing. But you learn to go, it's about me. It's about me and you have to focus on what you're doing. Don't let other people and their non-engagement with you as a person, looking at you like you're the non-entity in the corner. And it's like, what? Why have I turned up here? Why am I here? To be disrespected, talked down to, condescended. It's all very well, like I say, for people like that quote that they said the other day, it's all very well to go, oh, I'll just be like, I'll just let it all go off the top of my head. But it's like being a middle-aged man and being spoken to like you're a child. I can't wrap my head around it. I can't be around that. You have to be around people that are under your fucking mentality. So luckily I have those folk. But I was prepared to. So to that point you go, maybe it's a blessing. Maybe it's a blessing that people can't rise up to meet you on the level that you're at and go, wow, and sharing the triumphant, joyous feeling of achievement in there. You want to hear about this story, and that's because they're still stuck in a poor perception of you that's based on you version you from fucking ages ago. So as I say, they're missing out. But on that point, it's a blessing that they don't see you for who you are, because then when you achieve even bigger, if that happens, right, if you achieve bigger, then you go, well, it'll be even more of a shock to them. And I'll just laugh. I'll have the last laugh, not in any aggressive way, but I'll have the last laugh, because I'll go, fucking hell, I just see you as a joke. Everyone that thought I was a joke, they're turning out to be the joke. Yeah, the kind of karma, by disrespecting you, by putting you in a small box, and then you end up achieving even bigger, and then you've got actual... It's just funny, be grateful for that, because it doesn't matter what anyone else says. If you end up achieving bigger and doing stuff, it's not even about achievements, but if you do what you're going to do, then they will have to look even more shocked. They're going to have to catch up. They're going to have to accept certain things about me, and they're going to have to do the work. I've done all the self-development in the world. I've done way more than other folk, which I've only mentioned, right? Those people I've only mentioned, but I'm not going to be turned up in a room and spoken to like I'm 10 years old. That's not happening. So my absence is felt. I've watched all these YouTube videos. How silly is that? I've had to watch all these other YouTube videos, YouTubers talking about all this stuff. For me to get over things, like I said before, it's like the people telling you that you need therapy are the ones that need therapy the most, and ironically you end up feeling like you need therapy after talking to these folk. It's fucking hilarious. It's like you can make a short film out of that. This is a good wee idea. Anyone watching this, you can nick that idea if you want. It's good, isn't it? Irony, or like if you feel like you've achieved, if I can quote Graham O'Brien, and you end up on this little island feeling really quite fucking proud of yourself, and you're like, yeah, I know some things, and then 99% of the folk are not seeing your worth, then it's a lonely feeling, and then you end up feeling like you need to talk to somebody to get, That's why I've made all these videos, King of Art Therapy. So that's I suppose that's a new achievement I've had, isn't it? The King of Art Therapy. Best podcast in the history of Dumfries. I'll tell myself that. Why wouldn't it be possible, Why wouldn't it be the case, You know what you know, don't you? Doesn't mean you know everything, but I'm just talking about the whole thing about elevating past certain fucking shite mentalities, certain parochial attitudes, certain negative, backward, just petty, in the system attitudes, and you elevate past that, and you go, is there no more people like me? I'm just shocked that there's no more folk like me, and there's no, like, I'm not anything special, but I have met some folk that are like-minded, so that actually helps. But it's just that it becomes absurd. It becomes absurd when you spend time. It's kind of like, Black Sabbath, when they went off and took all the drugs and went around the world and did all that shit, and they were wired to the absolute moon. And he come back, and Geezer Butler was like, I couldn't face my parents, or Ozzy, when he said, I couldn't face my parents, had changed so much, That's kind of like that, You should be able to have that part of yourself that is able to meet your parents. You shouldn't change that much that you know where you've come from, But I mean, if you've changed in a good way, you've kind of developed. You've got certain skills that you've been trying to develop and hone and whatever else. Should feel proud of that. But it was funny, like I said, when someone said, "Oh, you're all talk," and I said, "Oh, I could do this, could do that," and they go, "Oh, you're all talk," and it's like, right. So, and then they say, "Ah, you're all talk," and I'm like, "You're saying that to Mr. Action Man, are you? You're saying that to Mr. Action Man, are you? The guy who's got a fucking list of things in his CV. It might not be level Z, but it's no bad. It's a bit more than level 1. And you're telling me that I'm all talk. This is what I'm talking about. If people's mentalities, they're down there and they're trying to the only tactic they've got, because they can't face the fact that you've kind of moved on, you've elevated past them, you're at a higher level, so the only tactic they have is to try and pull you down. It's like, I thought the whole point was trying to be inspired by other people. I didn't think I'm anything special, but I certainly know I'm not level 1 with certain things, you know? So, I mean, to quote one of these life coach / acting, you know, mentor, guru type persons that whose thing I went to, he said, immerse yourself in it. Well, yeah, duh, yeah. I mean, immerse yourself in what? Yeah, loads of different things, but there's been a theme and variation. But even just becoming a more confident person is shunned upon. Is shunned upon. Does that make sense? Is looked down upon. You're not allowed to be more of a confident person, because I think certain people. How sad is that? Certain people live off trying to pull people down to artificially inflate themselves. Take away the power of a shallow person, you will find, you know, they have phantom authority syndrome, and they go around feeling deluded about their sense of importance, and they speak to you like you're a fucking dummy, and they talk down on you, and they can't rise up to meet you on your level, so they want to. The only tactic they've got is to try and pull you down and not listen to you and gaslight you. It's the only way you can put it. Disrespect. And if I take it back to what that person was saying the other day about, it's, you know, it's up to me how I receive other people. I shouldn't. Yeah. If you feel like someone's disrespecting, it's all very well to say, oh, everything, like being spiritual or whatever, like nothing should affect you. Well, that's a bit idealistic, is it not? I mean, we are social animals, so if someone's like talking to you like you're 10, it's very difficult to just have the CB cognitive behavioural and just go, oh yeah, they're not actually disrespecting me. They're not patronising me. I mean, call a spade a spade. It doesn't mean you have to be completely triggered and start reacting and shouting at them and saying, what the fuck are you doing, disrespecting me, you talk to me with respect. But you can do it in a nice way. But looking back over my whole life, you go, maybe I was always like ahead of the game, and invariably the only tactic people could have against a person that's just maybe more of a quality person, mere character, mere intelligence, mere awareness, mere mere focus, mere just knowledge of life and the way life works, you know, without going into it, you know. If the only thing that you can do is, if you're ahead of the game, you look back and you go, I was fucking ahead of the game. That's why most people talk to you disrespectfully. They want to discredit you. Well, where will they be in 5 years' time, working some shite job with a delusional sense of authority that their job brings them? But in day-to-day life, what kind of a person are you? Do you have many friends? You know? It's about treating people properly, but I would like to be treated properly. It's about being seen, isn't it? But you get to a point where you go, if you're not seen, then you sort of go, right, well, I don't care. I'll see myself out the door, you know. But I'll just get on with what I'm doing, and hence the art therapy. I'll just finish on this, right? Recently I've had some good good comments on my YouTube. At least it's like, at least someone gets that. I had a good ratio of views to likes. You know, I had one video only got 6. The live one I did yesterday got six views, 4 likes, and someone commented and said nice. And if I just reflect back on my whole YouTube experience, I've got my work's been called genius work twice, and I've been called a genius once, so that's alright, innit? And the rest of the time they're saying I bring the energy, and people react. I think when people react online, negative comments are good as well. I quite like them. They're quite funny. But a lot of the comments you go, when you get reactions and views, it's actually quite interesting, but I kind of am not bothered about views anymore, because I'm more concerned about the views, the vistas, exploring, getting out there. Because you start waking up and you go, maybe the reason why half my shit didn't get seen is because folk are just a bit thick and a bit fucking behind. It's like folk want content commensurate with their own level of fucking mediocrity. Sorry to say it. I mean, I'm no like any kind of fucking genius, but when you're talking about, motivational themes, and I've done all sorts of stuff in different areas. I would consider that to be an achievement, having my foot in all different genres. More versatile than David Goggins. I've done the athletic thing, but he doesn't have 1,000 odd YouTube videos. I'm not downgrading him. I respect what he's doing. He's got out there, he's done what he's done, that's fine, but I do what I do, I'm creative and do my own thing. And at the end of the day, I didn't really care about the audience anymore. I feel like right now I could talk 500,000 words just for a laugh. I didn't care if anyone watches it. That's kind of the level I'm at. I'm on a little island. It's not a bad thing, because I know I'm not insane, despite what some people may try and make you out to be. I've just had a bit of fun recently exploring, taking the piss out of folk that have tried to take the piss out of me. I've got the last laugh, sorry. Like folk going, try to make out you to be crazy. What? Because I've practiced the shit more than you have, because I've put more work in than you have. Like I say, I could do a fucking show. There's another thing, like some of these creatives dropping dropping away. It's like, well, I can main quality, so you've obviously given up. You've obviously given up. You didn't actually realise what it's about. If I could just quote myself yesterday, it takes the constitution of a truck, doesn't it? You have to keep going. You have to have the passion. You have to ignite the passion. To quote myself yesterday, you can't just expect being entitled, expect things to come to you. If you're wanting work in the biz of show, It's like, I almost see that as a secondary thing. I didn't care about the results. If I can just quote myself from one of these life coaching, acting things, I said it my fucking self. I said it in the moment. I said it's not about results. It's about my results. I don't care about the external results. It's just about enjoying every day, and anything else is if it's meant to be, it'll meant to be. If it's no, then it's no. If it's about enjoying the whole thing, innit? So, but like I say, I've got 1,000 stories for showbiz. But like I say, let's just bring it back we're bringing it back nicely back to the beginning. I've got 1,000 stories from showbiz, and like I say, loads of times pass, and still, certain folk in your kind of close family still not even ask me any questions about it, and I'm going, is there something wrong with you? But using the CBT, I sort of think to myself, I should raise my level, to quote the person I was quoting earlier on. I should raise my level and go, it's actually a good thing that I'm below the radar, that folk don't give a fuck about hearing about any of my glorious achievements, right? Because if I actually do get a bigger achievement that is actually, visible, then it'll be worthy of, then they'll have to take note then, and then it'll be, well, where were you noticing all the work I was putting into all this stuff? Like I say, I'm not doing anything for approval or for da-da-da. It's just funny exploring this thing, isn't it, about how the way in which art therapy, art, music elevates you and makes you, rather than healing, it does heal you and elevates you, and you feel good about yourself, and fixes you, so to speak, as a person. But we live in a world with other people. So ironically, then you become aloof, and then the people want to gaslight you even more because you've changed, you've elevated past their level of thinking. That's ironic that you'd feel that you'd actually need therapy to talk about that. It's fucking hilarious. But what was the other point I was going to say? Yeah, someone was saying that it's all very well, and I was saying the same thing. It's all very well to, read, be really well read, and think that you've got knowledge and about things. But there's a certain level of knowledge, that you can only gain through actually living in the real world. And I pride myself on the fact that I've self-taught myself quite a few things, and I've got out there and I've just jumped into things. I've not gone to, I've not been formally trained in certain things, and I still learn how to do it to a good level. That's what it's about to me. And there are certain people that talk to you, and that there's a level of arrogance that I think this is the thing what I was trying to say before. They could learn from you, but they don't want to. They want to be... And I'm not interested in going around teaching folk. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking this way as a kind of... After everything that I've been through, feeling like disrespected. Well, you then sort of go, well... You almost feel like you want to teach folk how to fucking interact properly and be normal, not be gaslighting widos, with attitude problems. And that's what I'm trying to say about, there's a certain level of knowledge and that you can only gain, and a certain level of personal development you can only gain through living and through actual life experience. You can't get that through reading loads of books. And it's like some people are... They're very well read, but then they haven't got out and done. So that they've got all a load of theory, haven't they? It's just like the thing about theory versus real world practical knowledge. You need the balance to be the well-rounded man, don't you? You need the balance. You need to be able to read. You need to be, to learn things. But if you read too much and it's not applied, then that becomes a negative, because it's like watching too many films, isn't it? If you watch nothing, if you're watching Netflix the whole time, is that really healthy? Because then you're filling your head full of all this worldly shit. Is it uplifting you, or is it pulling you down? Is it giving you nutritional content? There's a certain level of nutritional content that we have to get from actually living, getting out there. And I've fucking done that. And then you come back, it's buzz adrenaline. I've said that 1,000 mil. It's fucking great, isn't it? I could talk forever about this. I could go into detail, but I didn't want to ruin it. I didn't want to show off, because that's what folk would go, oh, you're showing off. Meanwhile, they go down to Waterstones and see some local luminary and lick their arse like everything they do is fucking brilliant. Appeal to authority. And yet, but I can just quote myself, the only thing people hate more than the truth is the person telling it. So you're not allowed to know things. People don't seem to realise that that everyone's capable of elevating and getting better at what they're doing, and they might actually know some things. But it doesn't really matter. It's quite good. I've got a university degree. I can read all these fancy books. It's great. I could pick up 10 books tonight and read them all and go. But this is my point. I'm wary of that. I've never really been a big reader, but I know how to read. I know what I know, and I want to know more. But I don't want to read. I don't want to be sitting reading Charles Dickens' complete works, because the world's moved on. You dip into that, don't you? And you go, oh, that's an interesting way that he wrote and everything. But different world now, isn't it? The world's changed, so. Access to too much information, yet we're all brain dead. I'm butchering, I'm just poetic license. We're all brain dead because none of us read anymore. None of us, not none of us, but most people. The internet's done a lot of good. It's done a lot of harm as well, isn't it? And you could go into that, can you? But It's knowing, I think that the key for success and what you're doing, if you want to do things right, the key to success is following your nose. It's like a jigsaw puzzle, isn't it? You've got to get the right puzzle pieces. You don't want to be just going reading every fucking book. You wanna read the book that speaks to your intuition. You know, do the things that speaks to your intuition. That's what I've always done. I've always followed my intuition, and I've done things that I feel at the right time has been the right thing to do, and I don't want to do things that don't align with me as a person. You can't fail if you're just being yourself. So there you go. Being a better version of yourself is a sin, is a crime to some people, but nevertheless, doesn't matter because the joke's on them. I've got the focus and skills. I've got the motivation. I've got the discipline. I was watching a Bradley Wiggins interview this morning. That was really interesting. And he was saying it's not really about motivation, is it? A bit like Muhammad Ali in it when he was training for the Foreman fight in that When You Were Kings documentary. He was talking about it's not really about motivation, it's just discipline, because some days you don't feel like getting up and doing it. And look at it today, it's raining today, cold, hands were cold today, no gloves, and it's the first time I've been on the road for 3 months properly on the bike, and yet I got up and did it because I had that muscle memory of, you know, the discipline. It's all about discipline, isn't it? I'll just finish with this. He who fails to prepare should be prepared to fail. Perfect preparation prevents poor performance. First attempt in learning. The decision to try starts with the decision. Sorry, the decision to the any great achievement starts with the decision to try and da. But if you learn something from Bradley Wiggins, he's a great achiever, right? And he goes, if he'd known now what he knew then, he might not have done what he did, because you realised that there was more to life than achievement and blah blah. You've seen there's loads of videos, all these videos dishing the dirt. That's like I say, internet nowadays, different world. We know about this. We know a lot of these top sportsmen are fucked up. That there's more to life than achievement. It's all very well being a self-development person, but you know, like the Alan Watts thing, we're just like, you know, looking at kind of the thing. It's coming. We're all taught, you know, like the Matrix. In the world, we're all taught that school, the whole conditioning program, the system that's set up to always focus on the future and a projected better future based on achievement that you're working towards in the present, but we don't actually live in the present. That kind of thing. So self-development, it's all very well, but just live in the moment, innit? Fuck the outcome. That's what I got out of the Bradley Wiggins this morning thing. It was like he's saying, fuck the outcome, really. It's all about the discipline and the process, you know. And I'll be doing more than going fast on my bike this year. I think that's what's going to happen. Ken, very zen, isn't it? But it'll breathe. That's the kind of approach we want, isn't it? Live in the moment, Ken. Fuck outcomes. Fuck folks' silly perceptions. If folk aren't for you, stay away from them. Get in your own lane. Focus on what you're doing. Get better at what you're doing. Fucking love every minute of what you're doing. Blah, blah, blah. Bradley Wiggins, he was saying, O'Brien, when he goes after having, he got fucked up by the whole, you know, you could call that a self-development thing, can you? Try to get, like, won world championships, and he was a bit emotionally immature because of trauma and everything, so when he thought that the success would bring him happiness and contentment, but it didn't actually. He was just using it as an escape, and on one level he got good reward from the achievement and everything, but he neglected his own mental health, so he crashed. That's what I was saying yesterday about crash and burn. So you've got to be don't see the goal as the be all and end all. Your life is the most important thing. He's full of contradictions, that guy Graham Ruby, because in another video he said your most important thing in your life is your life itself. How funny was that? How foretelling in a backward way of what actually happened in his life, because he talked in that documentary about, oh, the most important thing in your life is your life itself. A lot of people get taken over by sport until it goes out of their life because it takes too much time, and then he ended up in that very position. fucked up in the head. So he was full of contradictions. But I think the whole self-development thing is full of contradictions, and I won't go into that because I don't have the flowery adjectives, and someone might say I'm fucking mental and I'm having a psychotic episode, but fuck what they think, because I'm doing what I'm doing, and it's all good at the end of the day. And just got to laugh at the folk, that the detractors, innit? Like, you try to reach for the stars, the cliches, reach for the stars, you might hit the moon, if you're doing that, like I said to my brother the other day, I said you're climbing up Everest and you're not doing too badly. You're a quarter of the way up Everest, and folk at the bottom are telling you there's something wrong with you, you're fucking mental and you're no capable. And then when you come back, you're a joke and you're laughable, and and you go, I've just went on an adventure, and I've got there's shit you could learn for this. Don't you fucking sit on your backside watching Netflix and eating mini rolls the whole time. Actually get out there and fucking live. Is that what we're not supposed to do in this life now? So at least I've done my stories on my YouTube. I've spieled and blabbed and everything. And some folk might have thought, oh, that guy's crazy, but who cares? It spills out into real life. But fuck it, at least it elevates me. I get more elevation for doing this and doing my self-development than being around a lot of people that just drag you down. So that's the way it is. And finish by saying, it's good to know that as the well-rounded man, I'm still able to turn up in a room and be sociable and have social skills. It's like not being a chameleon, but you're still you. You're still true to yourself, but you know how to fucking, in presentation mode now. It's just funny, like, you do a university degree and you sit there and you watch these university lectures prattle on and on and on about all this fucking crazy shit that is totally irrelevant, philosophy, not completely irrelevant, but it's mental. They go round the houses with all this stuff, and you go, what is the point of this? And folk that, because you've got a PhD, well, that's perfectly acceptable. Oh yeah, you're rewarded for that. You got a salary. You do it in real life on your YouTube stream of consciousness, or you talk about your stories, or you do your performance art in public. Incidentally, that we studied at university as well, situationist, right? I do it in public. You actually do this shit and have the fucking balls to do it. But when you get to a certain level, it doesn't take balls because it's just easy. You do that and you're seen as fucking mental. So the whole thing's one big experiment, as I said to something else. Felt like a whole big experiment, try to get better as a sportsman, performer, actor to a certain extent, or all this stuff, and you go, rather than folk being interested and being uplifted by it, which is what I thought it would actually do, that art actually has a purpose, it's supposed to do something, rather than folk invariably appreciating it. They want to shit on it, to quote someone else close I was talking to before. We're talking about the value of art and drama and all this stuff, and I'm looking at them going, they just prove my very point. They're sitting there and they're going, yeah, this person's quite well read, but they've no clue about what I know. It's so funny. And they're talking over you and not even listening to you. You're like going, you're missing out. You could actually learn something if you actually listen to what I've got to say, because I'm talking about something, a subject that I actually know. But I saw a meme the other day and it talked about, don't demonstrate, or don't explain, demonstrate. So that's what I'll be doing in 2025, and that brings us nicely full circle to what I said earlier on when someone was saying, that when you do an achievement and no one, and folk downgrade it and don't even see the value of it, well, if I achieve bigger, how much will I have demonstrated, And that's not the guiding, that's not the driving force behind what I'm doing. I'm not doing anything to prove anyone wrong. I'm just living my life, as Tom Cruise said, right? But if somebody, that's kind of a good way to get to come to terms with that, about people not valuing you, what you're doing, and all that sort of thing. You go, well, that'll be an added spark, won't it? But how fucking glorious will that be? You've got to be a visionary, right? Visualization, yeah. The idea that I could achieve bigger and then really blow people away, and then I'll be so the people that laughed before, you go, well, who's laughing now? I'm laughing at you, the fact that you thought I was a joke the whole time. It's like, duh, because in the whole in the self-development process of actually made myself overqualified for position, and my dreams came to fruition because I was class on a higher plane and everyone wanted to know my name and all that shite, right? Yeah.